Welcome to module 75 and before I start this exercise, I would ask you to pause the video and check so that you have your notebook and pens ready. In the next few slides, I'll take you through 7 multiple choice questions from this topic, and I'll take you through how to process your understanding and respond to these multiple choice questions, starting from easy to medium to slightly hard level of difficulty. Okay, thank you for pausing. Let's begin now. So this is the first question, which says a scientist counted 22 chromosomes in each of the root cells of a xerophytic plant. What is the diploid and haploid number of chromosomes for this species? A says 11 diploid, 22 haploid. B says 22 diploid, 11 haploid. C says 22 diploid and 44 haploid. And D says 44 diploid and 22 haploid. So this question is basically checking your understanding or assessing your understanding of the concept diploid and haploid number of chromosomes. So in our previous module, when we discussed differences between mitosis and meiosis, or when we went through the whole cell cycle cytokinesis stages, we have come across these two terms, diploid and haploid. Another thing that is being tested over here is, can you identify what a somatic and gametic cell is? So, quick recap, a diploid number is when the number of chromosomes in a certain cell is in two sets. Okay, one set coming from the mother and one set coming from the father's gamete. So that is diploid number of chromosome. Haploid is half the normal number of chromosomes. And we all know that somatic cells have always diploid number of chromosomes. And the question says that there are 22 chromosomes in the root cells of a xerophytic plant. A xerophytic plant is a plant found in desert-like conditions, dry and extreme weather condition. So if this plant has 22 chromosomes in its root cells, we know that all the cells except reproductive cells, they are somatic. So that means the diploid number is 22, that is, it's in two sets. So what should the haploid number be? It will be just half of the diploid number, that is 22 by 2, 11. And that makes our correct option as option number B, where the diploid is 22 given in the question and haploid is half of it. Moving on to the next question. This question is going to test your understanding of chromosome behavior during the different stages of mitosis, as well as actually during the different stages of cell cycle, because there is interphase also in the option. So let's see. It's asking, looking at the diagram or the shape of the chromosome, can you tell which stage of cell cycle this is? So if I look at A, I know that at interphase, the chromosomes, the genetic material is in a loose and relaxed form called chromatin, and definitely not like this, because this is when the chromatin has condensed and formed chromosome and has assembled in the equatorial region of the cell, or metaphase. This is definitely not metaphase, that is option B, because at metaphase cells are at the equator of the cell, but the chromosomes are at the equator of the cell, and we can see here the chromosomes have clustered and moved to opposite poles. So this is actually anaphase. In telophase, we know that the chromosomes have already moved to the opposite poles and they begin to relax or become chromatin again. So again, C is also not matching with telophase. So I would say definitely the answer is D, because at anaphase, this is how the chromosomes appear. They are moving towards the opposite pole and they look like V-shaped, letter V. So answer is option D. Let's move to the third question. Here a photomicrograph is given to you and you have to identify the order of the stages that occur. So first thing that you do in these kind of question is identify the stages that are labeled in the diagram, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So when I look at 1, I can identify one as anaphase because at 1 the chromosomes appear V-shaped and they're moving towards the pole. At stage 2, I can see that the chromosomes are gradually decondensing and becoming thinner and looser threads. So this is definitely telophase. And at prophase, this is number 3 is prophase, because here you can not see the chromosomes very clearly, but you can tell that this is when the chromatin threads are condensing and becoming thicker. So 3 is definitely prophase. And you can also see nuclear envelope is not visible, nucleolus is not visible. 4 is cytokinesis. I can tell this is cytokinesis because I can see a cell plate has formed in between these two clusters of nuclear regions, and the nucleus is gradually forming, that is nuclear envelope is forming, and chromosomes are no more visible. They again seem like chromatin threads and decondensed, and the cytoplasm has been separated. What is 5? 5 looks clearly like metaphase because all the chromosomes have arranged themselves on the metaphasic plate. Now you have to look at the option and see that not always will they give you the stages in the order starting from prophase. But since cells go through a cyclic event, you can start the event from any point. So we can see that in option A, they say it's 3 first, which is prophase, then 5. 5 is metaphase, okay, and 2. What is 2? 2 is telophase. Definitely, this is not correct because after metaphase comes anaphase. So we reject option A. What about option B? It says 3, 5, 1. 3, 5 and 1. 1 is anaphase. So yes, prophase, metaphase, anaphase makes sense. Then 2, that is telophase. And then 4, cytokinesis. Yes, B is in the correct sequence. And therefore, B is our answer. You can also check the other 2 options before finalizing B as your answer in these kind of questions. Let's look at the next question. I think this is the 4th. Yes. So in human cells, the tumor suppressor gene TP53. So this is a gene in the DNA. What does it do? It codes for a protein that interrupts cell cycle if there is any damage to the DNA. So this gene produces a protein, and the job of that protein is to interrupt cell cycle if it notices that the DNA has any damage, so that it will prevent the DNA from replicating, because when the DNA replicates, the damage will also get copied. So this protein actually prevents copying of damaged DNA. Now our question is, which of the stages from option A to option D will TP53, the protein which is coded by this gene, which of these stages from A to D could TP53 interrupt in the cell cycle? Now we know that TP53 prevents wrong or damaged DNA from getting copied. So first thing that should occur in your mind is, when in the cell cycle is the DNA getting copied or duplicated? That is S phase. So which stage will be interrupted by TP53? It is S phase. Yes. So here are the few things in the question that you need to focus more before finalizing your answer. Let's look at the next question. Here there's a diagram of a cell whose nuclear envelope is not visible, but you can see the chromosomes in the nuclear region. So it says nucleus, but actually it's this, the nuclear envelope is not there. You can only see the chromosomes. So you have to tell what is Y and what is Z. So clearly Y is a chromatid and Z is the centromere. So that means our answer is option number D. And yeah, so the diagram here shows you some details so that you can recap the structure of chromosomes. If the chromosome is already duplicated, you can see sister chromatids, and the sister chromatids are joined at a point called the centromere. The ends of these chromatids are called telomere, and at the centromere region there are proteins called kinetochore, which are the regions where your spindle fibers will attach, so that during anaphase the spindle fibers can contract and separate the sister chromatids. So that's a quick recap, and our answer is option D. What occurs in mitosis? This is our next question. So it says, what are some things that are there in mitosis? Do you see homologous pairs or chromosome number remains the same? Definitely, in mitosis we know that the parent cells and the daughter cells have the same genetic composition. So our second column will be a tick, but homologous chromosome pairs are more particularly the the two chromosomes which out of which one has come from your father and one from the mother, and they pair up. That only happens during meiosis. So no, homologous pairs of chromosomes will not be seen distinctly during mitosis. The pairs will be there, but they'll be scattered in the cytoplasm separately. And yes, the chromosome number will remain the same. Okay, let's say for example this is a parent cell. There are homologous pairs of chromosome. You can see the blue ones have come from a parent and the red ones have come from the other parent. In this cell it's a diploid, two sets of chromosomes are there, but they are not forming homologous pairs, they are not pairing up. But one thing is for sure, when this cell undergoes mitosis, the daughters will have the exact copy of the parent's chromosomes. So the number of chromosomes in the daughters will be the same. So our answer is option A. Few details of this example that I have shown over here. Here the diploid number is 6. Daughter cells will have same number of chromosomes. If you look closely, daughter cells also have 6 chromosomes. Let's look at the next and the last question. A cell with 4 chromosomes undergoes a cell cycle including mitosis. So this is the chromosome number of the cell. Number of chromosomes of the cell is given 4 chromosomes. Okay. Which diagram correctly shows the changes in chromatid number during interphase? So here you have to see the chromatid numbers and tell which diagram is showing all the chromatid numbers correctly as per the cell cycle stages. One thing that is given to us in the question is there are 4 chromosomes. Okay. So now we have to know that in the cell cycle there is interphase first that the cell has to go through, and then mitosis. Okay. Before entering mitosis, the cell will go through an S phase where the DNA will duplicate. So if the cell's original number of chromosomes is 4, then in the beginning of the cell cycle it will have only 4 chromatids. But after S phase is done, DNA will duplicate, so the chromosomes will remain same, that is 4, but each chromosome will have 2 sister chromatids. So totally there will be 8 chromatids. Okay. Now if there are 8 chromatids, something like this will happen. Initially 4 chromosomes were there and 4 chromatids were there. After S phase, the cell will look like this. Means the nuclear envelope will vanish and the chromosomes will appear as if they have 2 arms. These are the sister chromatids. So from 4 chromatids, it will become 8 chromatids. Now look at these pie charts and you can clearly observe that in option A, they say correctly that in the interphase, 4 chromatids are there, but after S phase, it says the chromatids have become 2. That is not possible because in S phase, the 4 chromatids should double. So A is wrong. In B, they are saying that this cell has 2 chromatids in the interphase. That is also wrong because if a cell has 4 chromosomes, it cannot have 2 chromatids. It has to have 4 chromatids in the beginning. So B is also wrong. C says 8 chromatids are there in the beginning, which is wrong. In interphase, before S phase happens, the 4 chromosomes will have only one arm, that is 4 chromatids. So C is wrong. Let's look at D. 4 chromosomes in the interphase, that is in the G1 phase of interphase, 4 chromatids are there. This is correct. Then S phase happens, and in G2 now the 4 chromatids after S phase has duplicated to 8. That is correct. There are 8 chromatids, but they are all stuck at their centromere, so there are still 4 chromosomes. Okay, so our answer is option D. Next exercise, and ask you to now practice more MCQs by yourself. So that's all for the worked example exercise. Thank you.